Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to the United Stand and welcome to another edition of the Flex and the Rants that isn't really their show. Like, do you know what I mean? Apparently, Rants was trending yesterday worldwide or UK wide. He's left. Certain YouTube channels trying to jump on the propaganda and all of this stuff. You love to see it. You love to see it. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good, man.
I've never seen you smile so much. I thought you was a miserable person. You don't normally like to smile.
I am. Today's a good day, bro. Back from the dead. You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, happy Easter, people.
Yeah, 100%. Rising from the dead. Old tight Angel Gomez as well. You know what I mean? Come out with a video. Big up, man. Big up. Listen.
Bro. Leave him alone.
Listen. We got a lot to talk about, man. And as you can see, the title of the video is Tottenham versus Man United, the preview. This is our last Flex and Rant show before we play our first game. But obviously, look, we've got to address what happened yesterday. Actually, it's a couple of days ago. So comments you made on AFTV. Obviously, everything gets taken out of context. And it's important that we talk about it because one thing about me and Rants is that we're not afraid to talk about anything. And also, you know, people saying, "Oh, do this, do that, get rid of this, get rid of that." What? Because of someone's opinion or something? Like, what is this? Like, are we an arena where we discuss things, or are we not? Like, come on, let's get real.
It wasn't taken out of context. The context was removed for the sole purpose to try and slander me, bro. Jobless Twitter would be working overtime, bro. Yeah, I know it's contradictory, but they were. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, literally. You gotta have a lot of time on your hands, and also you've got to be a miserable asshole, and really hate your life to go out of your way to try and sabotage someone else, bro. I don't know these losers. I'll never meet them, but that's what they are. They're losers.
Yeah. Listen, what I was gonna say, we got to talk about it before we move on to other subjects. Is that I saw the video. My mentions were popping off. Oh, Rants has said this. Rants has said that. So as per usual, I always say I want to see the context first. I want to see what was said. I want to see how it was said. I want to see what happened in the lead up to saying it. I want to see what happened up to the point where you say something. And most importantly, I want to see what you say after the immediate thing that you say. I couldn't actually see a lot of the videos because I was blocked from a lot of the accounts.
Well, that tells you where it's coming from, innit?
Which, exactly. But look, me and Rants disagree on a hell of a lot of stuff, but we also agree on a lot of stuff. And Rants's point, which is the proof is there in the pudding on AFTV. If you want to check the context of the whole thing before making an assumption, feel free to go and do that. Don't do that now. Stay tuned in, locked into us. Don't leave. Don't leave. Smash a like on the video. Also, what Rants was saying was the fact that, look, black managers are misrepresented, and there's a reason why there's not a lot of black managers. And as a black man myself, and even if you're not black, the proof is in the numbers. You can see the reason, and we'll talk about that, why people aren't getting jobs. Which the thing that's pissed me off most in this is actually what's being taken away from the real issue, which is that actually there's black managers not being represented at that level. However, where me and Rants did kind of disagree is I did say to Rants's point is right, but I feel that the way he applied it to Man United and saying that bit there where Ole got the job because he's white, in a circular conversation, if the conversation,
but that's not what I said, Flex.
Yeah,
that wasn't the conversation. The conversation was cut off there purposely, and it did what it was meant to do, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? The fact still remains, yeah. You know when people might say, and Mark said, "Oh, I feel like the message was lost." The message wasn't lost. It was buried. It was buried for a reason, innit? These men knew what they wanted to do, and all of them can go fuck themselves. I don't care. You know who I am. You know what I stand for, bro. The facts are there, bro. Like, the numbers are there. The conversation started, an Arsenal fan said to Robbie, in the midst of everything that's going on, do you think that Patrick Vieira not even being in the conversation for the Arsenal job, him being an ex-captain and being a legend at the club, but Arteta, who's less experienced than him, got the job, do you think it's anything to do with the fact that Patrick Vieira is black? Robbie said.
Yeah, Robbie said it.
Robbie said, absolutely, it has to be, like, because when you look at everything, it doesn't make sense. They sing Patrick Vieira's name to this day. Patrick Vieira came out, said his name wasn't even in the conversation for this.
Yeah, he didn't get contacted.
Cool. And then I said, I don't know. Then he said, is it a surprise? And I said, it shouldn't be a surprise to you, bro. I said, Ole would have never got the job at Manchester United if he wasn't white with his CV. The first thing I said was, with his CV, he has no business in the role. He wouldn't have got the job if he wasn't white. And I said, a black man with that CV wouldn't even have got a phone call back. I then went on to talk about Dwight Yorke openly saying that Sir Alex Ferguson phoned Aston Villa with him present to give him a recommendation. He didn't even get a call back, bro. You know what I mean?
Which is facts. That happened.
Which
that
is
happened.
all facts. But again, yeah, certain man want to take away from it. Oh, Manchester United's racist. Not everything's about Manchester United, mate. This conversation's about football. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you want to protect your club and you think you're protecting your club, yeah, because I called it racist, again, go fuck yourself. I don't care, because that's not what I said. The conversation was about football. You know what I mean? Football, black footballers make up 1/3 of the Premier League, but we've got 3 black managers in all the professional football leagues combined.
I think the stats definitely speak for themselves. And from my point of view, and this is where me and Rants have had this conversation, and we can have it here because this is what we do. From my point of view, I feel like the fundamental reason, which actually isn't what you were saying, but it's how it came across, maybe even the first time I watched it, but the context is everything, even afterwards, is the fact that, for me, the reason why Solskjaer, the only reason Solskjaer didn't got the job at United, for me, is he's got ties with a club. He worked in the he used to be in the reserves and knew the players, and it was only supposed to be a short-term thing, because when he all got the job, we was all dancing around singing Ollie's at the wheel, which is fantastic because he was doing well. Then when it went to pot, the first thing all of us were saying was actually he's only got the job because of it's not because of his CV, because no manager, even whether you're black or white, really should really be getting a job that big. Really, the reason why he's got it is the sentiment, the McPhelan, bringing in Carrick back, and we all kind of agreed on that. And that's where I was like, yeah, I think that's the fundamental reason.
But it's a circular argument, because you can say, yeah, that Ollie had the reserve team manager's job, but then you can also say, well, okay, why isn't Dwight Yorke the reserve team coach now then? Or why did he get an opportunity?
And Rants, you know what? Sorry, that brings us on to this point, yeah, which is I definitely want to talk about. I think the bigger question, and I think everyone wants to jump on the outrage and stuff, but I feel like when people do that, they're not looking at the actual angle of why is man saying this? Why are people saying this? If you actually look at it, in the last however many years under Sir Alex, you think of all the black players, black ex-players. I can't even think of a coach that's been there next to Sir Alex Ferguson. Definitely hasn't been an assistant manager, and you can't count Carlos Queiroz as black, so don't try that.
No, they'll try. They'll try bail him and that, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I think with everything that's going on, there's a lot of people I feel that become offended at things that actually, if you're not racist, it don't really apply to you. It doesn't apply to you. It only depends if you have.
Yeah, but bro, if you're not racist, you don't get offended by these things, bro.
There you go. There you go.
Like, I don't care, bro. Like, you see, the thing is with me, yeah, I don't try and dim my blackness for people to make them feel comfortable. And a lot of the time, yeah, that's why when I say things, people are like, oh my God, like they feel attacked. I'm not attacking you, bro. If you're not racist, they don't apply to you, bro. Like, football on a whole, yeah, has a problem with racism. It's factual.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying? Society in this country as a whole has a problem with racism. When Black Lives Matter were out marching, yeah, we're the only country that had an anti-Black Lives Matter protest. Do you know what I mean? This is the country with no racist problem.
Like what are you countering? Like,
and then these men were football fans. They were out there singing. But when I was saying that there's racist man in the terrorist, yeah, doing X, Y, Z, people were saying I was playing the race card, and then they proved me right, bro. Because they were out there singing flipping Winston Churchill songs, but with the football rhythms that they sing on Saturdays, bro. Do you see what I'm saying, Flex? So it's these men that are getting offended, bro. Like, you need to look at yourselves, bro.
Big comment here. This is from Josh. Said, big up Rants. Regardless of context, you spoke truth. Patrice Evra was doing his coaching courses at Carrington. Reckon he will get the head of job if Ollie fails. Unlikely considered. Definitely not. It's systematic racism. That. Thank you for the contribution there. Somebody else can with a good comment here. Just want to make sure I get you guys' views in as much as I can. Let me just find it quickly. It was. I think it was someone saying something about Marcus Rashford. Actually, let me put that up on the screen.
Let's talk about Rashford.
If you be anything in life, be a Marcus Rashford. With the Rashford situation,
love Marcus Rashford, but he should get his own little. Let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about he deserves his own part.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. Exactly, we'll get to that.
Disrespectful. Man can't just throw Rashford in with this.
Just
but bro, understand, yeah. Like when I say to you, yeah. The prime example of all of this, yeah, because you know what? I like to give man receipts in it. So cool. Dwight Yorke can't get the Aston Villa job. what were all the comments saying? Oh, it's because of York's personal life and this, that, and the other, like, which has fuck all to do with football. You man forget about personal lives, yeah? When who's at Aston Villa now? John Terry. Do you want to talk about personal lives? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you've got to separate that. I saw that interview as well, right?
Bro,
yeah.
Who's the Welsh national team manager? Do you want to talk about personal lives? You might want to talk about personal lives when it suits you, bro. Just call him what you want to call him, bro.
And I think that's a valid point. And the reason why is because, like, everything we're saying in terms of the wider picture, like, forget like that people trying to clip things and all of that. When you're talking about the wider issue of people not being able to get jobs, like even Gareth Southgate done an interview with Laura Woods the other day. I watched it, and he literally said, like, there's a reason why black ex-footballers and stuff don't even have the aspirations to be managers. Like, because
Danny Rose came out the other day and said the same thing.
There
he
you go.
Coaching badges for what?
The point, because the track record, he said what we need to do is give black people hope in terms of getting a job. And for me, and what I think a lot of the misconstrued messages, for people who maybe don't understand, or people who don't want to understand because there's ignorance out there.
They don't want to.
Hear this, Rants. Listen to this, It's the fact that actually we're fighting for tokenism. And when I say tokenism, that's saying actually, I've never been in the game. I've got no connects. Had no journey. I'm just Flex. Yeah, I'm cool Flex. And I want to do my UEFA A license. Now give me the Man United job because I'm black and that's fair. No. What we're saying, because nobody wants to see somebody just given the job just because of their skin color, or not given the job just because of their skin color. How about just having a fair shot at the job, regardless of the skin? Because that's all the campaigns are for, and all of this marching is for.
Bro, bro, we're literally marching for equality, meaning, that we just want a level fucking footing, bro. That's all man wants, bro. We're not asking for handouts, bro. Do you see what I mean? And people are going on like, man, are asking for something unreasonable, bro. Do you see what I'm saying? There's numerous examples of the bullshit, bro. As I said, Yorkie couldn't get the job. John Terry's not a club legend at Aston Villa, got the job. Steven Gerrard's first job, Rangers. Hear the joke now. Frank Lampard's the Chelsea manager. What was his first job? Derby County. Where did he finish? 6th. He finished 6th with a Derby County team, got lost in the playoffs, got the Chelsea job. Darren Moore got the caretaker job at West Brom, beat us, went unbeaten in April, got relegated with a team that was doomed anyway, had them in the top 4, then got fucking sacked. Do you know what I mean? But and now he's a League One manager. But Frank Lampard's a Premier League manager, and he done better than Lampard in that league.
If you look at it, right, forget the ties to the club, If you look at Chris Hughton's CV, I know, cool, it's cool. What is that you're even drinking? I don't even want to know what's in that.
But it's celery, but because it's a green screen, it looks clear, isn't it?
I was thinking, what the hell is that? I think he's drinking some. Next thing, he's watched Angel's video, man's drinking some.
The holy water, blood. Hold tight, Angel.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Just quickly, let me get this super chat there before we carry on and move on. It annoys me how after even explaining yourself, people in the live chat will continue not to listen to reason. We need to shut down the abusive Twitter accounts targeting the United stand and its regulars. Thank you for that. And look, we all know how toxic like Twitter can be and stuff like that. And look, and this is what I wanted to give, like, look, it's not that Rants needs to give the context, because look, clearly Rants is saying the context is in the video. Like, go and watch it. But what I'm saying is as well is, and this is like nothing to do with race here. This is just talking about the whole thing in context. Like if Paul Ince would have got that job, this is what I'm saying. It's not about race. If Paul Ince would have got that job, would I not be
smashing him to bits, Flex?
You'd be going, why has this guy got the job? Why? Because his CV's crap. And Paul Ince, we know where he's like in terms of in the fan base. If that would have happened, there would have been outrage. And also, everybody knows your views, because this is the whole you're a racist thing. So why do you want Pochettino to have the job then? Are you racist? Do you know what I'm saying?
That's why.
You want to wipe you specifically your opinion, your opinion, which you're entitled to have, even if I don't want Pochettino because I don't agree with you. Your opinion is that you want the next manager to be white. So what? Are you racist? I thought you was racist.
I am, bro. You know the problem with me is, I want people to have shit on merit. So that's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted, bruv. Who was battering Lukaku more than me, bruv? So what am I? Do I hate black people too? Do you know what I mean? These men love to just create agendas that ain't
You're just
there,
you're just a mean, horrible guy, to be honest.
Bro, I am just very to the fucking point, bro. Do you know what I mean? And because I don't dim my blackness here and I don't stop using my slang here and I speak a certain way, people feel intimidated by it. I don't care, bro. It's not for me to change. You need to change. You're the one with a mental illness, not me, bro. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing I said that wasn't backed up by facts, and the context is there for everyone to see, innit? So if you don't want to see it, bro, you can clip that, and send that around Twitter, because I don't care. You know them ones there. So when men are making fake Twitter accounts and stuff like that, bro, it's a more reflection on, it's more a reflection on you than on me, bro. Because I don't care. I'm living my life, bro. I don't know who you are. You know who I am, bro.
I hear you. Look, it's important that we talk about it. I put my views forward in terms of I don't think the reason that Ole got the job was only because he was white. However, if he would have had that CV, if he was black,
which I said.
Which you did say.
I never said the only reason he got it is because he's white. No, that doesn't make sense, bro. Because then they could have given it to Pat in the bakery. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. But the facts are, a black man with that CV ain't getting a call from Man United. You're not even getting a call from Grimsby Town with that CV as a black man.
Well, look, we've seen people with a lot less credentials or whatever be given a chance time and time again. Joey Barton's got a job time and time again. He's done some awful things.
I think Lee Bowyer's a manager as well now.
Lee Bowyer's at Charlton. I don't know if he's still there, but yeah.
A man's had criminal cases and them thing there.
I think Jody Morris is with Frank Lampard.
He's a brilliant coach, Jody.
Exactly, he's done well, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone's separating when he went through that thing with Lee Bowyer, I think it was.
Again, exactly. You know, he's a brilliant coach.
That. So look, at the end of the day, if you're confused about anything, just check out, just go and educate yourself. At the end of the day, just type in YouTube and put in TalkSport Dwight York, and you'll hear the account that he gave. It's not backed up with facts. Chris Hughton's another one there as well. Hold tight, Chris Hughton. I've spoke to him many a times.
And he didn't get the job ahead of Nigel Pearson for Watford, and you could argue that he had the credentials to get that job. There you go. So listen, we've spoken about it. Hold tight, all the propaganda FC people trying to put it in their video titles and trying to jump on the ting and get the reaction. We here, man. We here. It is a Tottenham Man United preview. Rants. The rumours are, which goes closely, this goes nicely into a player in your background who everybody knows you love anyway. You're not racist for this. Basically, there's rumours that Pogba might not start, and a lot of conflicting opinion. I know we kind of already spoke about this in terms of like, you think he should start, etc. Now it's coming a bit closer, and I've started to see a few more people, discussing actually no one deserved to get dropped. Yes, it was 3 months ago, but I saw Fred's numbers though. I saw Fred's numbers maybe raise my eyebrows. I was like, I think he's got more interceptions than Ndidi and Kante. I know Kante's been injured a lot, but remember when Fred was rubbish? You remember those days?
But we also did say that we didn't mind Matip starting. But the big talk is that Pogba may not start. Can you see maybe if he doesn't start, you wouldn't be like fuming first game? Or would you be?
I would. You know how long man are waiting to see Pogba and Bruno? Like, we have not only have we not seen football, we haven't seen Pogba and Bruno, bro.
Do you think Oli thinks it's a thing? Do you think he thinks it's a thing? Like, you see how we're fans saying Pogba, Bruno, like, we can't wait. Do you think he's like, we'll just let it, like, I'll just go back to what I've done before. Let's just see.
I'm going to be, like, as fair as possible, and I'm going to think like this, yeah?
Yeah.
Pogba got injured because Oli played him, against Rochdale, bro. Like, Oli knows how important Pogba is. I feel like if Pogba's 100% fit and Oli doesn't play him, that's a risk that he can't really afford to take. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like if Pogba's 100% fit, I think that Oli plays him because Oli rates this guy highly, bro. Like, forget what the fans are saying. Like, some of these man's heads are not right. Do you know what I mean? But Pogba is highly valued by his teammates and also by the manager. So even though there's talk of Pogba not playing, I still think that he starts, bro. I honestly think he starts, bro. And if he doesn't start, I believe it's because he's not 100% fit. I cannot, I can't for the life of me see a situation where Pogba's fit and he doesn't start. Because that's
we got to remember that bit. You see that bit there, he's probably not 100% fit. Because also, I did see, because I never like to just like make my mind up about something and then leave the door closed. Like you can call that not flip-flopping, but that's just how I am as a person.
You should always be open to changing.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 100%. So when I started seeing people more discussing, well, actually, if there's been a player like Pogba hasn't played in such a long time, like longer than the rest because he was out from before that. The same with Rashford. And you don't know how his ankle's going to react. You're not sure. Coming back from a long injury, operations as well, high intensity, maybe coming back. Like maybe it would be better to bring him off the bench. Like if you're winning 2-1 and you bring on a Pogba, I started to kind of open up my mind to say, what would that situation like? Let's discuss that. What would that be like if actually he wasn't on the bench and maybe you get a 1-0, you get to half time, you know what I mean? 60th minute, you bring on a Pogba, strength in numbers. Who's going to be able to cope with a Pogba coming off the bench? Because although we didn't win against Watford, we've spoken to Watford players, you know, in a hand. I spoke to Troy Deeney. He told us, Andre Gray said it. Maps was messaging me afterwards when we was talking, and he said, listen, when he came on that pitch, it was a different thing. So let's put that into our context now with actually, I wouldn't be fuming if he didn't start, but I think what would happen is if we lost the game or played badly, it would be an easy target.
Bro, the way I see it is there's no universe that we live on, yeah, that the team's stronger without him in it. I don't care, innit? Like there's no universe. There's no universe. So if he's fit, the guy starts. End of story, innit? Like I don't want to hear nothing else because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, how we start the game against Tottenham, yeah, is going to set the pace for the rest of the game. If we start slowly and concede early, there ain't no crowd to get you up or none of this, yeah. Like United were on a good run before, but that doesn't mean shit anymore, bro. Because we haven't played football for so long.
3 months is gone. The momentum's gone, innit?
The momentum's gone. So
you've got to gather it again.
So what we've done, the previous games don't mean nothing, yeah? Everyone talks about how well Ole's doing, yeah? 29 games into a season, this is the worst points tally we've had post-Ferguson, factually. So I don't care how it feels, innit? Because emotions get the better of you. On the board, we ain't doing that good. We've just been lucky that Chelsea ain't been doing well. So if we lose to Tottenham, and then Tottenham end up being like, I think, a point behind us, and then Chelsea win, and then Chelsea end up being 6 points away from us, all of a sudden, it ain't looking too good no more.
Yeah, because even if we draw, it'll go to 5 points if they win. But the rest of the games, I mean, that's why this game's so important, Rants, because like after this Tottenham game,
winner balls everywhere.
You got Bournemouth. Yes, Villa are fighting, and I'm not discrediting these teams because they're fighting for their lives, but I'm just looking at it from an inverted commas arrogant Man United point of view, which is got to be careful. But I'm just saying, our next hard game would be the last game of the season, which is Leicester, and obviously Sheffield United's a big
Crystal
game.
Palace away as well, but they haven't got their fans though.
I think these are different. Yeah, I do think it's different.
Winner balls everywhere, bro. If we win 5 out of the remaining 9 games, top 4's ours.
What do you think? Mark was saying. Mark said he thinks that we could catch Leicester.
I think we're going to pass Leicester, bro.
You agree with Mark? Why do you think that? What makes you think that?
You know why I think that?
They're 8 points clear or 4th.
Is it 8?
I think it's 8. Don't quote me on
that.
Because
they have to play. They have to play. They have to play us. They have to play Arsenal, and they have to play another top 6 team, and they also have to play
Wolves.
And they have to play Everton as well, bro. They don't have an easy running. Do you know what I'm saying? And all they need to do is pick up draws here and there if we win. The thing is, the way this Premier League is right now, if we get 4 wins on the bounce, we're in the top 4 comfortably. I'm sure of it, bro.
Yeah, because someone would have dropped points ahead of us in that time. Yeah, Leicester on 53, Chelsea on 48, we're on 45.
I think we can do it, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I do genuinely feel like if we do what we're supposed to do, being the key things, yeah, because these are very winnable games, guys. Apart from the Leicester game, yeah, which I still believe we're going to win, and the Tottenham game, there's no games you should be looking at as a Manchester United fan and not be confident in, bro. Sheffield United, as good as they are, we're meant to turn them over at home.
Mark was saying that they have to Sheffield United, because I was like, I don't like when we kind of disregard the other teams, yeah, because you talk about the proof in the pudding, and you said it there in terms of actually our points return's not actually that great, and more importantly, in recent years we haven't been banging up all the teams we're supposed to bang. Which is why we've not been great over the last 6 or 7 years since he left, right? But what I was saying is that I just feel uncomfortable just completely discrediting these men. Like Mark was like, Sheffield United won't have the squad for it. Like they've got to play like 3 games within the week straight away. So I understand that, but I don't know. I just think like they're there for a reason. And Wolves, like you don't think like on Wolves fan TV, they're not going to be saying, "I tell you what, mate, we got our players. Neves has had a nice rest. Jimenez,
Yeah, but
Jota,
Wolves have to play Leicester though, don't they? And the thing is, Wolves don't.
Because they got harder running.
We've got 5 substitutions, which means teams without squad depth. If you look at Nuno's team, he's been playing the same 11 pretty much every week, give or take 1 change. Do you know what I mean? The teams with the squad depth, also the amount of games that are being played in such a short period of time, injuries are going to happen, bro. Injuries are going to happen. Imagine if Wolves get an injury to Jimenez or something like that.
What if they don't?
No, but you can say what if they don't, but bruv, 5 substitutes ain't a joke, you know.
It's a lot, isn't it?
5.
Changing like half.
Imagine when you go to 5-a-side tournaments, because the equivalents, and if you got 1 sub and the other team's got 5. We've even seen it with the United stand, bro. Like, I've got such squad depth. I always have at least 5 men on the bench. When we play teams, like we played against Turkish's team, we were 4-0 up, and I made 5 changes, and we beat them like 8-0 or something like that, bro. Now, bro, when you got fresh legs to bring on.
Sorry, just to cut you off there, Rants. Breaking news. The government have announced a U-turn in the free school meals thing. Let's bring in the Rashford thing. It's breaking news right now. My phone's going off. I can see it all in the comments. Check your phone as well. Prime Minister, just breaking news, guys. Prime Minister Boris Johnson welcomes Rashford's contribution to the debate around poverty. The government is extending its free school meal voucher scheme through 120 million summer food fund, Downing Street said, following a campaign from Marcus Rashford. Can we just? I tell you what, Let me say this. The main thing, what people were saying, I saw some people saying, but free school meals is, it's not the summer holidays, and this. But what people are forgetting is over 600,000 people, right, have lost their jobs in this pandemic. That's 600,000 people. Now, I'm not saying 600,000 people all have children that are going to go hungry, but a lot of those people are going to be single-parent households, struggling to make ends meet, more than 1 mouth to feed, and going into having the kids at home when you haven't been working for 3 months is gonna destroy that household, and people are gonna go hungry. Forget football, forget anyone's opinion on Rashford, which we all know is obviously positive. I'm not talking about football in context,
This isn't about football.
That had to happen. It had to happen, because there's I come from a part single household. I grew up like that, and I'm not gonna paint this picture that I always went hungry, because I didn't. But there were times when, me and Mama had to live in literally like a bed sit where the toilet was at the sinks at the bottom of the bed and stuff like that, because that's just what we had to do. My mum was working 3 jobs at the time to get us back on our feet, and she managed to do that. And like Marcus is saying, he didn't actually go hungry because his mum worked hard, but they needed food banks. They needed contribution from his coaches. They needed all of that. So I nearly swore there, but
Bro, I wish you would sometimes, man. Fuck this. Do you know what I mean? And also,
I'm glad.
Where's all that? Like, let's not mix football and politics, people, now, bro. Like, politics is a part of life. Football's a part of your life. Society, it's all politics, isn't it? Like, you don't get one without the other. Do you know what I'm saying? So look what a footballer's gone and done.
I'm very proud. And I think what it shows is, look, I think what Rashford said very well on his thing is that, look, this is not my reality anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there's a, and I think a lot of like ex-pros kind of allude us to the fact that when you're a Premier League footballer with multi-millions of pounds, your discrimination is not the same as a man or a woman of any color or creed who is struggling because of poverty, because you're not in that anymore. But to be able to understand and remember that that's where you come from and fight to get that done, listen, that makes me proud, man. That makes me flipping proud. And the fact that he's a member of our team, of our club, it's not bragging rights. I don't want to say, look, because at the end of the day, it's bragging rights for humanity. It's bragging rights for the right thing to do. This isn't about Manchester United. This is about somebody with a position of influence, using that influence to be able to do greater for good. And I'm not going to use it as a chance to discredit anyone else who maybe hasn't done what Rashford has done, because that's not what this is about. This is about a young kid who's got his head on his shoulders, who's doing all the right things. He's got the right mentality, and that's what a role model is all about, isn't it?
Brother, big up his parents, bruv, because
100%.
He's been raised correctly, clearly. Do you know what I mean? He's a kid, and it shows. When you put pressure, on the higher ups because they rejected it at the beginning. But you know what?
Yeah.
The pressure that they got from
They
everyone,
knew they had
change.
to. They
had
knew
to.
they had to. There probably would have been a march for that.
Bro, but there you go. You see the pressure, and that's what happens when you want change. You have to put pressure on people, innit? And that's exactly what my people were doing, putting
Hold
pressure
tight.
on.
Paul Robinson, he says, why am I so emotional about this for
Because it's massive, bro.
Because it's big. It's big. And you know what? I just think this is the perfect time. Like, I think, like, with everything that's been going on, yeah, like, I feel like there's so much emotionally charged things and there's so much anger in society. And rightly so from us as black people that are promoting what we're trying to promote, right? But also it's so sad to see, like, every time, like, I went on Twitter the other day, Rants, like, I was like, I'm coming off. Like, I'm
It's
tired.
a horrible place to be, bro.
I'm tired of seeing Good Morning post up something and see the comments saying, oh, this again. I'm tired of TalkSport trying to highlight this, that, and the other, and Laura Woods and Hugh trying to do a show and people saying this, that, and the other, and Hugh Wizencroft having to say, listen, I am proud to be black and you can keep doing it. I'm tired. But we have to keep going. But when you see things like this, I think we've got to celebrate it, whether you're black, white, Asian, pink, green, like, celebrate it, man. Celebrate it, because it's brilliant, and I hope that we continue to see it. Hold tight, Trent. He says, I'm tired of Flex not reading my super chat. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My multitasking skills have gone out. If I've missed any of your super chats, I apologize. I'll get them read out for the next ones that come in. So apologies for that. Over 4,000 people watching as well as we're doing this, which is fantastic, man. Smash a like on the video. If you've just joined us, breaking news: Marcus Rashford has gone to Downing Street and beat down the door, and Boris has had to come out and change it. And big up, and also big up to all of the affiliations that have helped Marcus, because we all know if you're a footballer, you're not a politician. Yeah. It's all about the team you have around you. And hold tight the team who I dare say helped him construct that letter.
Bro,
in a way that
wrote it for him. Whoever's around him,
you know what I'm saying?
They did everything for him. But it's his face.
It comes from a place from him where he's gone and said, look, I want to make this happen. Maybe my vocabulary or the way of putting it in that right context to get to where it needs to get to might need help, but can I help with that? And he's been doing that. It isn't just about going, here's the money. He's fronted it up. He's been on BBC. He's been on flipping ITV or whatever, championing the thing. And thank you so much for doing that. Here's one here from Andrew Child. The return of the Premier League won't erase what has happened this year, yet you see how football can be a big influence, just like today with Rashford. 100%. That just shows the good that can come from football. Like, we've got issues with racism in football, of course we do, and we've got issues in our society, but I feel like we've got to celebrate change when it happens. We've got to celebrate positive stuff happening, because this is what we're trying to speak out for. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah says Rashford is a good influence to young children. Respect. 100%. Of course he is. He's also a good influence on flipping people twice his age, which I think is even more powerful. He's showing the people way above his age and way above, not above, or in a way different alley to where he operates. Actually, he's made them guys at Downing Street go, I'll tell you what, yeah, there's going to be loads of people out of work. Let's extend it. We can do this. Someone just said here, did you see what Katie Hopkins said to Rashford? I don't even want to see.
You see people like her, yeah?
Oh.
Listen, it's not even worth it. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be someone, to talk shit, bro. Like, no matter what you do, you could be the nicest person on the planet. Someone will always find a reason to talk crap.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Which is why I don't give a damn either way.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You can't hate Rashford. You can't.
Exactly.
And if you do hate him, you hate yourself.
Exactly. He's doing positive things, which brings us into now we've celebrated that, and absolutely we should have. Let's talk about Rashford in terms of his footballing, and he's coming back. This is a young player who looks hungry. This is a player who his form has done this. There's been times where he's not been at it. He's looked frustrated. He's looked like he's snatching at chances where he hasn't been in good form. Versus he come back just before he got injured. Fantastic form, scoring goals, being direct. How good can he be?
I don't know. Honestly, like, I think that Marcus, from what I see of him, I feel like for his whole career, he's gonna play like that. He's gonna be inconsistent. He's gonna score amazing goals. He's gonna frustrate you. I think that just is who he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way. You know, there's certain players like that. Nani was like that. Like when Nani was good, he was world class, brilliant. And then sometimes you were just like, bro, like nothing he's doing is coming off, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's just the kind of player he is, bro. I don't think the level he plays at will ever be consistent, but I think his numbers will start to become more consistent, because what you're noticing with Rashford now, even when he's not playing well, he's scoring. Do you know what I'm saying? But his level of performance, I think he will always do that because he tries things, bro. He's the kind of player, he gets the ball, he tries to turn when he shouldn't. He tries to turn when he shouldn't, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he plays like he's in the playground. And when players play like that, they're going to frustrate the life out of you, bro. Like when you're in the academies, the first thing they tell you most of the time is play the way you're facing. And Rashford just spins all the time. He doesn't care, bro. With no care in the world.
That's a nightmare for defenders. He's so direct. He's so direct.
And he's so unpredictable, bro.
He is. What I will say on Rashford, and again, like I always leave my mind open, I think there was a certain period where I think the pressure was just heaped straight on him already, comparing him to Ronaldo, comparing him to Mbappe. And Mbappe's young, but you see how good he is and the level that he's at. And I just feel like that, along with a lot of mismanagement with Rashford in terms of being pulled from pillar to post. Is he a 9? Is he a 7? Is he an 11? Like, that whole right wing, left wing striker thing hasn't helped him. Like, it hasn't helped United. And I feel like Martial. And I feel like because our club's been so disjointed over the last 7 years, it's been hard for any player to fulfill their full potential. And only now are we starting to see a little bit of continuity. I think Rashford could reach the top. I don't know if he's gonna be the next Mbappe, but for me, already, clearly, he's one of the best young players in Europe, if not in that position, in terms of young, 21, 22. He's in the top 5 of young players, if not 10, if you want to extend that for me.
10, for sure.
Yeah, I mean 5. All right, you might be slim pickings, but I don't know. It depends how he keeps progressing. Because if he has another solid season all next season and puts big numbers on the board, goes to the Euros, puts numbers on the board, which he's capable of doing, and we progress as a team with him, he's going to put himself into that conversation, man. So
with Rashford, we have to see, because I had a conversation with someone, and it made me think, that there was loads of things I was saying about Rashford, they were correct, but I was you know what I was doing? When I was saying, for instance, when Rashford was in the academy, when he came through, it wasn't his time and he was fortunate and no one was really talking about him the way they're talking about Pogba. That's correct. So actually, Marcus Rashford, done his development and his growing up in men's football, blood, when he shouldn't have, really. Do you know what I mean? I feel like now, this is his breakthrough season, bro. All the seasons before, he wasn't meant to be there. Do you know what I mean? But he was there. So he was still growing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if he was someone else without the injuries and stuff like that, he wasn't meant to be there. Do you see what I mean? It's just like
Mason. What you mean? Yeah. Like Mason feels a bit more like he's supposed to be there.
Precisely. Everyone was talking about Mason Greenwood for 2, 3, 4 years before he made the first team. With Rashford, loads of men didn't even know who the hell he was, bro.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Which again goes back to him, and I think it feeds into this here from Ajmal Kosman. Big up for the contribution. He says he's gonna be, I think he means hit the top or be world class. He works too hard, flex instead of fleck. I agree with that. That is one thing. His mentality seems to be elite, and you talk about fulfilling your potential. You've got to have that mentality of wanting to reach the top, and he seems to have that hunger, that willingness to be the best.
Where does that come from? Where does that come from? That comes from his upbringing, bro. 100%. Like, look what's important to him in life, bro. Because he knows what it's like to not have anything, bro. And that's how he trains, bro. He trains like he doesn't know where his last meal's coming from. His next meal's coming from, bro. Yeah, that's the mentality.
He's obsessed with football, and I think that is a healthy obsession that he has, and he possesses all the tools to not only be an important player for us.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But look, and this is what I want to just, before we move on from Rashford, because it's been so.
I want him, to get to the very top.
There you go.
I want him to break Wayne Rooney's record. I want him to do all of those things, bro. I don't think he's gonna have the career that Wazza had, but I want him to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear that, and there's going to be times, like any player, we could say we know how Paul Pogba is, but when he's in bad form, he gets bad criticism, or not even bad. He gets justified criticism when Fred wasn't playing too good. I remember being there last year at Newcastle. Well, this year he had a stinker as well. I think it was the year before last as well. Well, no, year before. No, so it was this year when Fred had a stinker before he kind of come in. He was horrible, horrendous. Couldn't control the ball, giving it away, and so you're going to get criticism in those moments. That doesn't mean that as a fan, you don't ever want them at your club again and you think they're crap. Because I think a lot of people, we're not going to slag our players off and stuff like that. I think there's a difference between slagging your players off and criticizing them for a bad performance. If you're going to watch a bad performance and still say they played well, then I think you're just not in the game for the right reason. I think you're just kind of just being in love for the sake of being in love. Because if you love someone, or in this context, you can criticize, say, I don't think you had a good game, man. And guess what? When someone like a Marcus sees those comments or whatever, they can accept it because they got the right head. If you start saying you're a effing this, get out, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, and start going personal, 100%, I agree. That should not be done.
That's what I mean. So with the Marcus thing, it's mad because all them times where I was pulling out my hair saying, bruv, he's not ready. It's because he wasn't. And now he is, bruv. You know them ones. And that's just how it was, bro. Unfortunately, he had to do his growing up in the first team. You know what I mean? And that's down to how shit we were.
Yeah, it does show, all the bad buys and stuff like that. If you're not going to criticize bad recruitment and bad decisions and bad this and bad that, then are you really a fan? I don't understand the whole wanting to stay away from criticism. That doesn't make you a bad fan or a fake fan. I just think it makes you rightly invested in the best for the club. I think, don't get me wrong, you can go over the top and we can all get emotionally charged and then say things that maybe aren't justifiable in that situation because you're angry we lost the game or you're angry someone missed a chance. But you have to step back from that and go, actually, Luke Shaw had a bad game. Paul Pogba had a bad game. Martial wasn't at the races today. He shouldn't have missed that chance. Like he didn't look like he was at the races. Daniel James should have got his head up and squared it. It would have been 2-0 up. You can say those things. Lucas says, Flex, read Kate Hopkins' tweet about Marcus. I can't do it. I can't. No doubt someone will send it to me and it'll be in my mentions and I'll end up seeing it.
Bruv, she's blocked me anyway, so she's blocked me. So if there's a tweet, I can't see it. Yeah, bruv. Listen, I've been giving her hell for years, bro. She blocked me a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. There was another... I'm trying to find... there you go. Always good. Always got time for rants, talking equalities. Big up Ashley for the contribution. That's what it's all about. Last topic of today's show then really is thinking, what's your forecast in terms of, if I know your thoughts on Ole already, but if he wins the FA Cup, gets top 4, wins the Europa League, can't get rid of him in Rants, can you?
Hell no.
Oh my God. Oh, you sure? No. Hold on, let me rub my feet. I'm just checking that it's you.
No.
Just trying to... Oh, it is you.
You can't get rid of him. You can't.
So what? With that, so what? Could I then say then?
No, you can't say I'm already in. No, you can't, because I'm not.
But you have to be. No, you have to be for that season. For that season, you'd have to be.
No. Listen,
you have to be for that season.
Listen to what I'm saying.
All right.
I don't think that he got the job on merit. I don't. Yeah, I'll never change my mind about that. Yeah.
He didn't get it on merit.
When I look at the points that we have now, it's still the worst in the last 7 years. So to me, no. However, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I don't want this guy here, because it's not personal with Ole. My thing has always been, I want people to get shit on merit. That's why I gave Lukaku stick, bruv. Because
what if he earns the merit then, whilst he's in the job? So let me say this analogy: just how Rashford was thrusted in, not by his fault, but didn't have the correct merit because he wasn't supposed to be there yet, as we've just said.
Yeah, but it was injuries though with Rashford.
Hold on, I know,
man for the job. We never had a man for the job.
I know, that's true. But I'm just saying, just take this though. Just take this. I hear what you're saying. That is true. It's a bit different, but I'm trying to just match it up.
I know where you're going. You know what
I'm saying? And then along the way, you earn it. I.e., he was only supposed to have the job as an interim purpose. Like Man United said that from the jump. So that shows us actually they never went, here's an inexperienced manager, let's give him a 4-year contract. They didn't do that. They said, let's just see how it goes and steady the shit. Then, which is another argument, it went fantastically well. where we all admit, even you, we all said, flipping it, mate. Whoa, tell you what, how could you not give him the job? How can you not? How can you not with what he's done? We all admitted that. Then when it went to shit, we all kind of said, look, the reason why he got the job was on sentiment anyway, etc., etc. Depending
But if
if you
we're
are,
honest with ourselves, yeah,
I think he earned it. He earned it.
We knew at the time though, because even
Yeah,
when
it
we were
didn't feel
singing
right.
Ollie's at the wheel, yeah, even when we were singing Ollie's at the wheel, yeah, like
that feels
deep down, we knew, yeah, that it was sentiment. We knew it was emotion, bro. It was an emotional time, bro. We had been through flipping Maureen, bro. So we were emotionally vulnerable at that moment, bro. That's what it was.
So in that sense, though, it kind of, and this is what I'm saying, I can kind of see, maybe because I'm only in at the moment, I don't want to say at the moment, maybe because I want him to do well, I don't mind him staying.
I want him to do well as well.
Yeah, sorry, you want him to do well. I just don't think
he's good enough.
But maybe because I'm in that camp, I'm looking at it like, well, then technically it was the right thing to appoint him because the reasons why they appointed him wasn't because of the managerial merit, which it should have been, but of what our squad needed at the time, which is what you just basically alluded to, was the fact that actually we were emotionally unstable and that was filtering through to the dressing room of the players, and we needed to change that in a short run for 3 months, which he did do, which is what
I feel like a good manager, but I feel like a good manager would do the same thing, bro. I'm all about meritocracies, innit? Like I don't want anyone to just be given stuff.
Great word.
Yeah.
Meritocracy.
Bro, listen, I've got plenty of those in my back pocket.
Meritocracy.
But bro, this is what it is though. Like you get what you deserve, innit? Like when certain men don't deserve to be playing because they're not playing well, drop them. I've always been about that, bro. David De Gea is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. Have I not been saying that he needs to be dropped? Because he wasn't playing well, bro. Like I don't have a bias towards him or against him, but he wasn't playing well, so drop him. Do you see what I mean?
I just feel like there's a certain argument that kind of ends. Well, you're kind of agreeing because you're saying if he does all that, then he can't get rid of him, which is essentially saying he deserves to be there. And that's what I'm saying. If he produces the goods from this season,
keep it based on where we finish at the end of the season. But at the moment, he didn't deserve to even get this far because when he went on that bad run, unless a man like people have been sacked for way less, bro, even at other clubs. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel that we could be, and look, I don't know. I could be proved completely wrong. We could lose 9 games in a row and finish 8th. But we'd finish lower than that if we did that. But let's not put that to the atmosphere. But what I wanted to say is like I just feel that like sometimes you have to. It goes down to that thing what we're saying about the parents of like it's not my child. Like I'm only looking at our thing. Like my mum used to say, I said, Mum, like why have I got to come in now? Why have I got to come in from playing outside? Everyone else is still out. She used to go, they're not my responsibility. I'm looking at you. And I just feel that with Ollie, I feel like that's what we did. We stopped looking at the likes of Liverpool being so far ahead. We stopped looking at City being amazing. We stopped looking at all of them other things and thought, actually, we need to fix our own shit. Like, we need to fix in-house. Let's get in-house ready first. And then...
but I feel like getting in-house ready is getting a director of football and doing those things. Because I wouldn't stop looking at Liverpool. What did Sir Alex Ferguson say when he stepped into the job? He wanted to slap their man off their perch, bruv. Like, he said it. He wasn't, I'm not looking at Liverpool. He said, I am looking at Liverpool and I'm going to slap them all over the place. And that's what he did. We can't just be like, oh, we're not going to look at anyone else, bruv. You have to look at the benchmark. The benchmark is Liverpool. We can't celebrate mediocrity, which is... I don't think that Ollie and the team and the club don't want to aspire to be that. I just think the order they have to do it in needs to be this. I think the stages. I think the first stage needs to be actually, let's get this in order. Then once we've got this in order, let's buy better players. Then once we bought better players, maybe let's get a different manager. Then we're in the perfect position to go and attack them. And it's like going to war with the wrong ammunition and the wrong soldiers. Yeah, but
so, I mean,
my argument is you always have to look at the bigger picture, innit? As well as Ollie's done, yeah. As I said at Real Madrid, Fabio Capello won the league and they sacked him because they didn't like the football he played. Do you know what I mean? If you have a goal, then whether you win or you lose, or if you finish 4th, yeah, the fact that finishing 4th is all right for us tells me, yeah, that the club's aspirations aren't as high as mine. That's worrying to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if I know there's a Pochettino available or a top manager available and my manager's finished 4th, I'm giving him a golden handshake, mate. And I'm saying, you know what, mate, you've done a great job. We sacked LBG after winning the FA Cup. So if Ollie only wins the FA Cup, yeah, then by that merit, really, we should sack him. But
we don't finish fourth. Yeah.
You see what I mean? But we won't.
No, we won't. And I think that's because of the change of emphasis. Like I said, because of what they're actually focusing on. They're focusing more on actually, and this is the flip side, which I always do, but it's how I actually think of it. I think, well, look at the signings we've made. We're starting to go in a bit of direction. We're starting to get something that resembles a good squad. Your argument is that obviously it's just not the right conductor, but the brand is amazing. We're starting to get people on the brass, the people on the strings, the people on the drums that are all actually quite well, but the conductor at the front doing the thing you don't think is the right guy, which I understand. I hold to Andrew Chow for the contribution. He says, Ollie is not good enough. However, if we get top 4, he will stay next season at least. If we fail, then surely he has to go. What do we actually want? Which feeds into what you was just saying there, Rants.
I want to finish. I want to finish third in the league. I want to win the Europa League and the FA Cup, bro. I'm a Manchester United fan. First of all, I want to win everything.
Of course.
And then after we finish third, I want to go into next season. Yeah, after a good transfer window, going for second. That's what I want, bro. Like, I don't want no mediocrity to be celebrated at this football club.
I hear you.
I feel like it has been.
That's definitely crept in, especially with the realization that we were shit. You know what I mean? You've got to adjust your expectancy. Like, we know it's just with the current set of players. Well, yeah, with the current set of players, it still needs more work. But even before these changes came in, we couldn't dream of winning a title. Like, I know we finished second with Jose in that season, but in the context of it, with the players that were there, it just was never going to happen.
But this is why, with my criticism of Rashford at one point, Lukaku at one point, Daniel James, all these men, because I'm comparing them to the standard level that they should be at, bro. Like, I'm not comparing them to Man United now, bro. Like, same with Luke Shaw. I'm comparing him to Patrice Evra. I'm not comparing him to Patrice Evra until he gets to that level. He never will. So I want to see a Patrice Evra, bro, because that's who we are. I can't just be like, oh, you know what, we're shit now. We just have to accept this. We should never get to the point where we're accepting mediocrity at this football club.
I hear that. Big up Josh Sutton. Thanks for the contribution. He says, even if Ollie isn't good enough and gets sacked, he leaves United in a better position than he entered it, and that's something. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone that will argue with that.
I agree with that, because to be fair, when people ask me, when I go on like different platforms or the radio or whatever it is, and they say, "Oh, what do you think of Ollie? Do you think this? Do you think that?" You know, I don't want Ollie to leave, because I think he's building something that puts us in a better shape. But the biggest thing I always say is that I say, like, actually, is Ollie going to be the man to win us a Premier League? I don't know, but is he putting the foundations and setting it there to kick us on and progress us as a football club? Absolutely. And for me, I'll take that, because it's about progression, and we need progression at a decent
But rate. That's why he was the interim manager, bro.
Exactly.
And that's why, for me, he feels like the interim manager for me even now, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He feels like the interim manager for me right now, because, as you said, I don't see that Brett toppling Klopp and Guardiola. I don't see it. He ain't got it in him, bruv. But he has steadied the ship, and he's put us in a better position personnel-wise for the next guy, bruv. Like, he has done that. But still, Manchester United are not consistent, bro. And we've never been consistent under him, because he doesn't have a style of play. Like, there's nothing consistent about what he wants us to do. I don't see anything. So that's what I mean. The consistency comes with a philosophy like Klopp's, a philosophy like Pep's. You know how they're going to play, you just can't stop them because their players are too good. With us, we don't know what United's going to turn up. Even against Spurs, I'm mad confident, but if we went over there and got slapped, again, I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't think it in. This game's so big, man.
I'm mad confident, bro, because I'm looking at our team and I'm like, bro, I'm looking at Aurier at right back. If Rashford doesn't put him on a milk carton, I'll be surprised.
Philo says, Ollie has brought emotional stability and mentality back. I agree with that.
That's fair, but emotional stability doesn't guarantee you points on the pitch.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It definitely doesn't. But from January till we got locked off, we were starting to pick up the points that our performances deserve, to be fair. And we were doing well. We were doing well. Someone said that you guys barely spoke about the Spurs game. Hold tight, Matt. We did in a little section, but I feel there was so much going on.
I feel like we're going to punch Spurs in the throat, blood. That's what I feel like. I said it before.
You're mad confident, innit? You're mad confident.
Bro, literally, I've never actually liked this football team this much post Ferguson, bro. I actually like these guys, bro. Now, when I look at this 11, I'm like, I like you, look. Do you know what I mean? Like,
something.
Bro, I've looked at loads of these teams and I thought, man, had Schneiderlin and them, man. I'm like, bro, who are these jokers, man? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, now I look at this team and I'm like, yeah, I like you. Wan-Bissaka, decent. Harry Maguire, I'll have that. Do you know what I mean? Scott McTominay, there's a place for him here. Do you know what I mean? Bruno Pogba, I like them. Martial Rashford, like you. Do you know what I mean? Fred in there, like Fred. Started the propaganda, loving it. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? I like these guys, bro. They're man I didn't like before. Like, personally, I thought they weren't good enough. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And we're getting rid of a couple of those guys. For me, looking at this squad and saying, you know what, I like you lot. Just get rid of Phil Jones. Do you know what I'm saying? Andreas, get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? Jesse, it's not really working out. I hope he turns it around. But if he doesn't, he can go as well.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
And then if them three go, I'm looking at the squad and I'm like, you know what? You know what I mean? Getting three more good men to replace them. And like, we got a decent squad.
100%, 100%. Guys, we've come to end the show. I'm going to finish on this comment here from Fahan. Hope I've pronounced that right. Friday's game is our most important game of the season. We win and we can get top 4. If we lose, top 4 will be a big struggle and the mood will be dropped. 100%, man. That's what it's about. It's about going back into this. It's about who can deal with the adjustments to how football's going to be after this, with the no fans and the how you shuffle your pack, your squad depth and stuff like that. Plenty of games coming quick. It's who adjusts best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? On top of who's got the better players as well.
And I feel like we got the better players, so we should beat these men and stick it to Jose as well, bro. You know, only come rub his head again. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Over 4,000 people watching at one stage. Smash a like on the video. Thanks for tuning in and hearing us out, man. We're never afraid to talk about anything. It's never going to change. And please, when you see things out there on the internet and stuff, look, there's going to be people that are always going to have their opinion. And you know what? There are people that have made their minds up anyway. And also, we're never afraid to come and talk about it. Don't just think that I agree with everything Rants says or Rants agrees with everything I say. Mark, I don't agree with everything he said. That's what this is about. It's about opinions. And us as a channel, when we do see something being taken out of context and stuff like that, we will address it. We will address it, and that will continue to happen. But anyway, football's coming back tomorrow. We all need to get back to it, to watching Arsenal getting pammed up tomorrow, because I think that's what's going to be happening. Let's celebrate the fact that Marcus Rashford, Project U-turn, you know what I mean? Usher, put your hands up, bend your knees. It's called the U-turn. Hey, listen, I'm going to post that. Don't take my post, because I'm going to post a picture of Rashford with the U-turn. Don't copy me. Yeah, Rants, big up all the socials.
Bruv, Rants and Bants on everything, innit?
That's everything.
Yeah.
Big up yourself. Hold tight, everyone who's come to my channel from the last couple of weeks, not even knowing that I had a channel. There you go. Check it out. It's called The Flex. Make sure you check me out on there. Check out Mark Goldbridge, That's Football as well. I think he's going to be doing a watch along for the Arsenal game tomorrow as well. Check out that channel. So, yeah, big up yourself, guys. Thanks for watching in. Smash a like on the video. Share the video. And we'll see you guys very, very soon as football is coming back. How exciting is that, man? I can't wait. I cannot wait. Peace. We out of here.